always believed that trust was the foundation of a strong marriage. But looking back, I realize how easily doubt can creep in when you let the wrong voices influence you. It all started with a few offhand comments from my friends. "She's acting different," one of them said casually over drinks. "Are you sure everything's okay at home?" Another chimed in. At first, I brushed it off, but their words lingered in the back of my mind. Had Emma changed? Was she being distant? I hadn't noticed anything until they said it, but once the thought was there, I started seeing signs everywhere. She had been staying out later than usual, saying she was catching up with friends or working on a project. Her phone, once left carelessly on the counter or beside me on the couch, was now always with her. She smiled at messages, typing quickly, then locking the screen. When I asked who she was talking to, she would answer vaguely, "Just a friend," or "It's nothing important." I tried to ignore the nagging feeling in my chest, but my friends kept fueling my doubts. "Women don't change for no reason," one of them warned. "If she's suddenly acting different, there's something going on." Their confidence in my wife's supposed betrayal made me feel like an idiot for not seeing it sooner. That night, when Emma was in the shower, I did something I never thought I would. I unlocked her phone. I felt my hands shaking as I scrolled through her messages. There was a number I didn't recognize. My heart pounded. The conversations weren't overly intimate, but they were frequent. Inside jokes, conversations late at night, a familiarity that made my stomach churn. I stared at the screen, feeling like my world was tilting. I had no proof, but my gut told me something wasn't right. I brought it up to my friends, expecting them to calm me down, but instead, they pushed me further into suspicion. "She's cheating, man," they said without hesitation. "You need to catch her in the act before she turns this around on you." Their certainty became my own. That's when I made my second mistake. I followed her. She told me she was meeting a friend for coffee. I left work early and parked outside the cafe. My hands clenched the steering wheel as I watched her walk in and sit down across from a man I had never seen before. He was smiling, leaning in slightly, and she was laughing. My blood boiled. It was one thing to text someone in secret, but to meet him in public like this. Was she so comfortable in her deception that she didn't even care? I didn't confront her right away. I let the anger build until I couldn't stand it anymore. That night, as she walked through the door, I was waiting. She barely had time to take off her coat before I demanded to know who he was. Her brows furrowed in confusion before realization dawned on her face. "You followed me?" she asked, her voice quieter than I expected. I threw the evidence in her face, the messages, the meeting, the laughter. Her expression hardened, but I could see something else beneath it. Hurt. "That man," she said slowly, "is my brother." Her words felt like a slap. My vision blurred as I tried to process what she had just said. "Your brother?" I echoed dumbly. I had never met him before. He had lived overseas for years, and she had always talked about how much she missed him. He had moved back recently, and she had wanted to surprise me with the news. That's why she had been texting him so much. That's why she had been meeting him in secret. The weight of my mistake crushed me. I had let paranoia consume me, let my friend's words poison my mind against the woman who had never given me a reason to doubt her. I had spied on her, accused her, and now I had done the unforgivable. I had thrown her out of our home in a moment of blind rage. She didn't fight me. She didn't cry or beg me to listen. She just packed a bag, looked me in the eyes one last time, and left. I stood in the silence of our empty house, my phone in my hand, my heart in my throat. My friends? They shrugged it off. "You did what you had to do," they said. But as I sat alone in the ruins of my marriage, I realized the truth. I had listened to the wrong people. I had doubted the wrong person. And now, I had lost everything.